Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and posse. I'm your highly overcaffeinated host, Tiffany, and I'm warning you up front, I have no idea where this episode is going, so thankfully, there's a topic for me to follow. I can't guarantee I'm not going to go off on multiple tangents. I will do my best to stay on track. So we are doing part of our Get Unblocked series that is super popular. We have gotten a lot of requests to cover this thought that comes up after you feel like you've done all the damn things. You're doing everything it takes. You're working hard. You're being present, but no one is buying. Your audience isn't growing. You're not even getting people downloading your free stuff. People aren't listening to your podcast. Then you're watching all these other people who seem to be selling all this stuff and I had another 6-figure launch. And you're like, this bitch is nowhere near as talented or knowledgeable as me. And she's cranking in the cash. And then you start comparing and judging people. And it's like, God, he doesn't even really have that much experience and he's doing well. This person's half my age and they're making all this money. And at a certain point, your ego starts saying things and your inner bully, right? Starts saying like, well, maybe you don't have what it takes to do this since nothing seems to be working. Maybe it's you. Like deductive reasoning kind of makes it seem like it's you because you are doing everything else and you believe you are. And that's a key point here. You believe, you feel like you're doing all the things. And I'm not taking away from that. I get you believe that. I felt that way my first 5 years in business. I really believed I was doing everything. I would say it to people. I would say it to God. I really, really believed that. And feelings aren't facts. You feel like you are because you're tired, you're feeling defeated because you just want the universe, you want God to throw you a bone. You're looking for some sort of external evidence and validation to just keep going. You just want to be able to keep going. Just show me something. Show me it's working. Give me a sign. Give me a sign. Then you get a sign and that's not enough of a sign. So you need another sign. Who are my people who do that? That's some shit I do. Where I'm like, oh, well, there's a feather. That could be a sign, but it wasn't clear enough. So give me another sign so I know it's clear. We're all quite crazy, aren't we? And the reality is you aren't doing all the things. Let's take a look at the stuff that you are not doing. Because I know you're focused right now on everything you are doing, and I'm not taking away from that. And I agree, you're probably doing a lot. In fact, you're probably doing too much. You're probably trying too hard. And that's one of the problems. But let's take a look at what you're not doing. And you've got to be in a space where you can just be open and willing to acknowledge that. Because there are things you're not doing. One of the things I wasn't doing in my first 5 years in business, which is why I was stuck and I couldn't get past a certain point for the life of me, no matter how many more hours I poured in, no matter how much more energy I poured in, no matter how many conferences or seminars I went to or books I read or blogs I read, the needle wasn't moving. And I was like, well, maybe I'm not meant to make any more than this. I mean, I should just be happy with this amount because I was stuck at this point in business. I was stuck between 150,000 and 300,000 a year. So some of you listening are like, well, that must be nice. I'd love to be stuck there. No, stuck is stuck. You can be stuck at 1,000 a month. You can be stuck at 1 million a month. When you're stuck, it's all relative. It doesn't feel good. You know it's not working. And if it's one thing if it happens for a month, but this went on for years with me, and it is not cute. And I am stubborn and relentless, and I kept going. But what's funny is it was what I wasn't doing. I was playing cheap with my dreams and my business. I was so stubborn that I wanted to get to that $1 million a year mark with my business, because that was my goal. I wanted to get to that $1 million a year mark in my business, but I wanted to do it my way. I wanted to do it in a way that made me feel somewhat safe and comfortable and didn't feel too risky to me. And damn it, it was going to happen. And I kept forcing that square peg into a round hole, kept trying to force it. And it wasn't working. And I was playing cheap. I didn't want to spend money on top tier help. I didn't want to spend money on a coach or a top consultant to help me and show me where the holes were in my business and help me figure this thing out and help me, get a path and a clear strategy to get more cash and clients. First of all, I thought I didn't want to spend that money, period. I didn't want to spend that. It was like, well, God, I'm not making what I want to make, so I don't really want to spend that money. And I was looking at it like anything I spent was less money in my pocket. I was looking at like the short game. I wasn't looking at the long game. I wasn't looking at it like an investment. Like I'm investing in getting this help so that I can get closer to making that $1 million a year faster and with more ease. I wasn't looking at it like that. I was so concerned about making sure I had something to show for all my damn efforts. And the last thing I wanted to do was spend any of the money I was making on stuff that I should be able to figure out myself. And that was the other thing. I was shitting myself. I should be able to figure this out. I mean, what's my problem? There's other people who are far less intelligent than me that are figuring it out. There's a plethora. That was very exciting for me to use that word, by the way. It was like an SAT word. So I'm going to say it again. There is a plethora of resources online. I had access to a lot of very smart people. I was willing to ask questions. It's like, so damn it, I should be able to figure it out on my own. Well, how is that working for me? So I want you to take a look at, let's just be honest, what are some key things that you aren't doing? And I'm not saying it for you to judge yourself, but just acknowledge it. What are some things you haven't done? Is it that you haven't hired anyone to help you? You have not hired a top tier coach. You've kind of just been, toe dipping on investing in your business. You've been stuck in a certain spot and you've not paid someone to help you get out of it. What is it? What are some things that you've not been doing? And I'm not discrediting all that you've done, but we've got to get you out of this spot. Hence why this is called the Get Unblocked Series. Okay? Take a look at that and then ask yourself, like, why am I resistant to that? Why have I been so resistant to doing those things? And just explore that within yourself. Why have I been so resistant? I was resistant, like I said, because I was shitting myself. I thought that, if I had this belief that that's the Coast Guard, if you guys can hear this, I don't know what's happening. It's like a police officer, but on the water. I think that's called the Coast Guard, right? I don't know. I don't see any illegal activity going on out there. I don't know. Fascinating. It's probably like someone stubbed their toe knowing where I live in Manhattan Beach. Like, you call the cops here, they're here in like a half of a second. There's nothing going on here, which is fantastic. Okay. Anyway, you would know I was going to go off on a tangent. So look at that. Look at why. Just assess your behavior, right? Without judgment. What is it? And you can say, well, I don't have that kind of money to spend. I don't have this. I don't have that. Okay. Well, there's always access to funds. There's money everywhere. That's hence why there's business loans. There's business loans. For me personally, I'm all about using credit cards. It's just an easier process. I'm well aware not everyone has credit to get credit cards. There's also PayPal credit. There are a lot of resources. There's Uncle Johnny. I don't have an Uncle Johnny. I have one living relative, but I know some of you have an Uncle Johnny. You know, sometimes you gotta hit some people up to have what you want. But what is it? What is it that you've not been doing, and what is your resistance to it? Because we can't move forward and get unblocked unless we, with love, call ourselves out, acknowledge some of our blind spots. You're not going to be able to move ahead. Are you trying to make your business work in a certain way that you believe it should or that you want it to, versus going about it in a way that is proven to work? Are you trying to be a rebel and go against the grain just to go against the grain? Are you trying to reinvent the wheel and making things harder on yourself? Are you kind of being lazy and not really doing all that you could do, but you're telling yourself you are? Maybe it's that you don't want it that badly, and you're trying to convince yourself you want this thing so badly that you really don't. And it's time to let it go and move on to doing something that you really want to do. So it's not about you not having what it takes to make it work. It's just your approach has been off. That is what has kept you blocked. You've been trying to go at it alone. You've been trying to go at it a certain way stubbornly and just got stuck in a groove and are just keep trying this one way, because if I just keep trying it, at some point it'll work. Now, at some point, you've got to cut the cord and go, this isn't working. Are you at that point where you need to cut the cord and say, this isn't working? I need help. I need to try a new approach. Is it something going on in your own mind and in your own body that has this going on? Like I said, maybe it really isn't something you want to do. Maybe it doesn't light you up. Maybe you were going after what you thought people would buy versus what really excites you. And yes, business, you do need to make sure there are people that are going to buy your thing, or you have a jobby, a very expensive time-sucking hobby, and you don't have a business. But it can't just be about money. It won't work if it's just about money. Money is a great motivator to me. It's a great motivator to many people, but it's certainly not enough in the day-to-day getting up, doing the thing when you don't feel like it, right? 70% of the things I do every day, I don't feel like doing. Quite frankly, I didn't feel like recording this podcast episode. I'm at that caffeinated point of wired tired, and it's very hard for me to focus, and it's taking a lot of energy for me to even do this right now. And it's not because I don't care about you, and it's not because I don't love podcasting. It's just because of life, right? We're lazy by nature. I mean, I know I'm lazy as hell by nature, but we all just want to luxuriate and chill and zone out and watch Netflix and scroll the gram. Like, that's just what we want to do by nature. So money's not enough in the day in and day out. So there's got to be a deeper meaning that propels you forward. Otherwise, you're going to keep looking for external validation. I just had a coughing attack. Thank you. I'm back now. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Otherwise, you are going to continue to look for external validation that you're doing the right thing or that you should keep going. And that's very dangerous, because when we are being needy for something outside of ourselves, you know what happens? God and the universe, your angels, spirit, whatever you believe in, it'll make damn sure that you don't get it. Because you need to find that within. You need to tap into that inner knowing that you know you're supposed to do it regardless of what the external factors look like. I really hope you heard that. Because if we're needing, like, I need to see that people watch my reels, or I need to see that I've gone viral on TikTok, or that I at least have X many people buy my thing. When we really attach a need to our purpose, to our vocation, in order to validate that we're supposed to be doing this thing, or we're supposed to be generating abundance doing this thing, then you're actually repelling the very thing you want. Because it has to start from within you. You have to believe in yourself and what you want to do so much that you're willing to show up regardless until. Not I'm willing to show up as long as if. I'm willing to show up regardless until. And I'm not saying to be an idiot and go 5 years and not one sale, right? That's not what I'm talking about. That would be bad business. But I am talking about, you need to tell yourself, I'm willing to go all in and do whatever it takes and spend the money, spend my energy, spend my time, and pour in for at least a solid 6 months. And if you can't give me that, then this is not your thing. Then you don't want it badly enough. And it might take, which was, by the way, the case with me. It was actually 18 months with my first business. It was not cute. I have no idea how I lasted that long. But with my podcast, which that was the first thing I started. I didn't start like Instagram or any of that stuff. I had no email list. I started everything backwards. I mean, it took basically 6 months. And I really wanted to quit at 5 because I was like, okay, now this is getting wild. Like, my downloads are crap. Like, there's some lady doing a podcast about her cat that has more downloads than me. It's like, what? Obviously, there's a problem here. Like, maybe I thought I was pretty good and I'm not as good as I thought. Or, maybe I got into the podcast game too late and I'm an idiot and I should have started sooner and this is my punishment. I had all of those thoughts. But I really had to have that conversation with myself because I really was going all in. That was an actual factual thing. So that was facts. I was really going all in. But I was yearning and being needy, and needy energy is not attractive. Being needy for external factors to validate that I should have a podcast. My voice should be out there, that I am meant to teach people. I really wanted that versus me tapping in and believing it in myself. So therefore, I didn't get any external validation. And I had to go back within and say, no, I'm going to keep showing up. I gave myself a year. I was like, I'm going to keep showing up until and regardless for a year because I would regret it. And this is something I really want. This is something I know people need. And it's a matter of time and consistency and repetition before it connects. And all it takes is a couple little gears to shift and this will connect, which is true. That's really, you're only a couple little gear shifts away from something connected. You're really only one share away, one person sharing a piece of your content away from having something happen. It's really not that much. And when I truly surrendered that, that's when the show absolutely exploded. Without a doubt. And I really meant it. It wasn't one of those half surrenders where you have one eye open, one eye closed. Like, I surrender, God, I promise. Like, whatever's meant to be is meant to be. And I trust you and da 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 da. And then you're like secretly like checking your latest reel 85 times. Yes, I see all of you. I don't care how many views I get. Meanwhile, that's like the first thing you check when you wake up in the morning. You know who you are. If you want to make sure that 2022 is your most profitable year yet, you're going to have to take big action if you want that big cash. You can't be doing these toe-dipping actions and then having these dreams of freedom and passive income and making all this money and you're playing cheap. It just doesn't work like that. You know, it's like you're trying to make a deal saying, oh, well, I'm only willing to do this, but I want all this in return. That's called entitlement. So if you really want to make sure that 2022 is your most successful year of your life, I will guide you. I have just announced that I have put together a 6-month ProjectME mastermind experience where you get 6 months of direct support, guidance, and clear direction by me. This is valued at well over 6 figures. You get monthly one-on-one sessions with me and a transformational luxury in-person 2-day mastermind experience at the end, plus monthly group coaching calls with high-end experts. And I'm going to hand pick these people for the group to make sure they're coming in and coaching you and giving you guidance on things that you actually need, not to where it's just someone talking, because I can't stand that stuff. So it's all strategically designed to get you to bring in big cash into your business without burning yourself out. I'm also putting together a group tech support. This is so you have accountability for your weekly business questions and your meltdown days, because there are meltdown days. Those are not avoidable. Now, this mastermind is only going to have a maximum of 12 people. 3 of those spots are already taken before I even launched it. So there's only 9 spots left. This is by application only. The reason I'm doing this is it is so imperative that I bring together and curate the right mix of energy, personalities, niches, experience into this mastermind so you all can best benefit from one another. And it feels like a very safe space to be open, transparent, and vulnerable. Also, I want to make sure that this is the best fit for you and the best use of your resources, your time, energy, and money right now in order to get you where you want to go. So I will help you determine that if you're not sure. And some of you already know this is meant for me. I've been waiting for Tiffany to do this. I've been asked to do a 6-month mastermind for years, and it didn't feel right until now. So I'm super excited to be taking you into the new year, hand in hand, and guiding you every step of the way. This starts December 1st. The application is in the link in my bio on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany. So it's in the link in my bio on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany. You can also, if you're on my email list, you'll also search for our emails in there. Just search ProjectME with Tiffany, and there should be an email in there with the link to the application. This application process is going to only be open for a very short time. So if you know this is something you need, if this is that big action you know you need to take, so that you will not fail, you will not slip back into toe dipping, do not wait, because I am closing this soon. And again, there's only 9 spots left, okay? And any questions you have on it, you can DM me on Instagram. But the reality is, most of the time when you're asking questions, it's just because you're afraid. Just do the damn thing and see what happens. Do something wildly different than you've been doing. I've set this up so as long as you show up and do your part, because I know I will, as long as you show up and you do your part, there is no way that you can fail. It's not possible. And do you have a fail-proof plan? Do you have a fail-proof plan for your business in accountability, in strategy, in support, in guidance? If you don't have that, that sounds to me like a setup for not doing so well. And you have a choice there of picking which way you want to go. Let's go back a little bit into this. You believe and feel like you're doing all the things. I want to really drill this into that damn stubborn ego of yours. There's some beliefs that you have that you've inherited from probably multi-generations culturally and in your family that you have got to work so damn hard. It's got to be so hard. It's got to be exhausting in order to have success, because that's the only way. The early bird catches the worm. You early to rise, first in or last to leave, or all this bullshit. It's all crap and it's not true. And many of you are subconsciously making all of this harder than it needs to be, because you have this belief that hard will equal more success. And it's not true. I did it. That's why I kept working more and trying hard and doing the different things. And maybe I need to add this and maybe I need to add more. Maybe you need to eliminate stuff. Maybe you need to stop doing stuff. Maybe you need to clear out all the clutter. Maybe you need to stop being a sprinkler system and instead be a fire hose. Usually when people come to me who feel like they've been doing all the things and nothing's working and they're going to have to quit and they're exhausted and they're over it and they're resenting their business and they're so frustrated and they're not seeing any hope or any results, it's because you're trying to do all the things. That's the fucking problem. Doing all the things actually isn't going to get you the cash. It might get you some, but it's not sustainable. I want you to be doing a handful of strategic and select things and go in on those. And the rest of the time needs to be for you nurturing yourself, enjoying your life, having fun, because this is going to free your brain for creating new products and offers and content so you have that creativity. If you're filling all your time with tasks and doing, so you think if you just do more, something will hit. That's the problem. So the other question to ask yourself is, what can I eliminate? Guaranteed, I know you guys are putting time into some form of content that you freaking hate doing. And you feel like you have to do it because maybe some coach told you, or maybe some internet guru told you, and you see it working for someone else, so you feel you need to do it because shit's not working over here. It'll never work if you don't truly want to do it. Like I said, I love the show. I love talking to you guys. I clearly must enjoy talking to myself. Hashtag only child syndrome, because that's what it feels like, right? When you're recording, unless I'm interviewing somebody. And I still have many times where I don't feel like recording a show. And I love this show. It's one of my most favorite things I do. Just because I'm human, I get tired. I would rather be sitting on the beach eating an ice cream. Who wouldn't, right? So if this was content that I already didn't like, but I felt I had to do, it was something I felt I needed to do for my business, wow, it would really come across that I didn't want to be here. And is that really magnetic energy that's going to attract new ideal clients and customers to you? No, it's going to repel them. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of, I'm doing all the things and nothing is working. And you keep saying that. And then you believe that. So then what do you think you manifest? So I want you to find this week for November, where it's November 1st, find things this week that you can eliminate. It might be from your personal life. It might be from your chore list, from your business. What can you eliminate? It's time to streamline and refine. We're going into right now the busiest, most profitable season to make money online that there is all year. This is going to be a record year of over $900 billion being spent between November and December online alone across all industries. This is it. And you just need a micro slice of that pie. But in order for you to really stand out, you need to get creative. You need to have your energy back. You need to find your own it factor again. And to do that, you can't be bogged down by doing all the things. So less is more. Less is more. I get to make more by doing less. I get to make more by doing less. Put that everywhere. Put it on a Post-it note. Keep saying that to yourself in your head. You don't need to do all the things. It's a fucking lie. It's what a lot of people will market to you because they want you to do more, because they want you to buy their thing, or they want you to think that they have this magic answer. So now you've got to do a damn TikTok every single day and then a reel every day. And you have to have an email list and you have to have multiple freebies. And now you have to have a course and you have to have an ebook and now you have to have Pinterest. And it's like, oh my God, it's not possible for you to do all the things well. Then you end up doing a bunch of things pretty crappy and nothing sticks. Give yourself permission to just experiment with it. Let's make it easy. How can I make this fun? What can I eliminate? Please, let's go into this season with it being fun and easy. Let's try that on. You've already tried on hard long enough. Let's try on easy. Go apply for the 6-month mastermind. The link is in my bio on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany. I'm excited to speak to all of you who apply, who I think are a great fit. I want to walk this journey with you for 6 months with my support, hand in hand. I've got you strategically, energetically. I've got you for the meltdowns and for the big wins. You don't need to do this alone. We get to make more by doing less. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.